We have our global experts here, we have people from the region, we have a few demos, and we have some interesting breakout sessions. So I really encourage all of you to interact with our guys, ask a lot of questions, and really use the most of these days to learn something new about what we have. And also, if you see something really interesting, talk to our people and set up new appointments so we can follow up with you as well.
About agility, and for your information, just a bit of promotion, because yes, in the future we can rent this place, is that that stage is very mobile. You can break it down in four, you can put it in the middle, you can move it back, but basically it symbolizes the mobility, it symbolizes the agility of the space. And when we talk about the future, which is what we're going to be facing, actually not in the future, we're already facing it right now, it's about agility, it's about being digital, it's about the Internet of Things, and it's about the growth of technology, which is so exponential that it's basically difficult actually to keep up. Anyway, beyond that, yes, it's not only fun, but it's about changing it into growth for all of us, our partners, Ericsson as well as especially Indosat Ooredoo, and which will eventually come back to ourselves. So thank you. Terima kasih and have fun. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We looked at Facebook in our sector. If you go slightly beyond our sector, so about 3 weeks ago I was with Parlex in India, and we flew with an airline called Indigo. When I was at Google last week, I met some folks from Airtel, one of the operators in India, who were there to have their EPC on the cloud or Google Cloud. So that's even you guys. You know, the core of your business is moving to the cloud from some upstart Google which came from a search engine doing an EPC. So all of us have to change. So today, spend your time with Ericsson, with yourself, discussing what the changes and how we adopt it. So, terima kasih. Thank you.
Cloudification, yes, it is on the cloud, but what it means that now with the communication means I have access to immense computing platform. And as for the trends in 2014, the usage of remote computing crossed the normal IT computing. So that means we are using more of the remote computing than the physical computing which is accessible to us. It is changing our lives. If you want to get into the next level, which is service enablers, yes, we are trying to build the investment into data centers, cloud-based data centers, which can bring us more B2B business with the enterprise business, and we can host the enterprises into our network, and we can outsource a lot of work that enterprises does. But ultimate growth is going to come, and which is also starting to reflect in the industry, is when you start aligning with the respective industry and start creating industry-specific solutions. Or to summarize, these are the three main questions or pertinent questions comes to us when we look at what role we want to play in the digital world. Do we want to remain a pie provider, or do we want to go up in the value chain? If we want to go up in the value chain, what is my ecosystem? I'm not going to do this alone. I need to work with the ecosystem, because it's not that all the industries are 1 degree or 2 degree apart. They could be multiple degrees apart, and when I'm building my competence or my offerings around that, I need to make choices. I need to look at my demography, I need to take where the investment is coming, where government is putting more emphasis, and how do I do that, my partnership, to build my service level industry or service, moving from network provider to service provider.
And then when it comes to triple bottom line effect, we look at social, economy, as well as environment. So out of the 41 countries that we have in the 2016 study, Indonesia or Jakarta is ranked at number 30. When we did the study in 2014, Jakarta was also at level 30. So things has not really improved for Jakarta. whatever we do on the ICT perspective can actually help on the triple bottom line perspective. We can leverage on ICT to improve the environment. We can use ICT to improve on the education system, and of course to improve the number of knowledge workers within Jakarta or within Indonesia in general. I think. Moving on to the third one, I think if you ask the consumer how do they judge consumer experience, only a few of them use Ookla or any speed test app to actually measure experience. How they normally measure is based on what the apps they use. So we need to find a different way to improve the experience as well as communicate to the customer in terms of how to better improve the experience. So we look at what they use today and we focus on that, both from a network improvement perspective as well as communication perspective. That could be considered by Indosat on how you communicate or how you target the different consumers. I'm pretty sure that millennials, those below 25 years old, are really key for you as well. So what we can see is that loyalty among the consumers is very complex. Of course, in a prepaid market, from your point of view, you have a very high churn rate. But from a consumer point of view, they might switch the master SIM card, but they actually switch from one SIM or one number to another, because that's how the consumer will behave. So there's a need to actually understand the requirement for different target segments. And of course, it's critical to identify the needs of the different segments. If the millennials is one of your key target, then we have to communicate to them differently. They need different types of packaging suitable to their needs. And of course, there's an opportunity to look at different business model as well.
Can you share us some experience from other telco or opco that have a success story on how to monetize this user experience become revenue? That's the first one. The second one is about NPS. Now NPS is not enough. We shocked because we just now starting building the NPS, and you say that NPS is not enough. Can you share us what is other than the NPS that can use by us to measure our service to the customer?
I think what we normally do is we track how the different operators around the globe monetize. This is something that we can definitely share. The starting point is definitely to get the service to the consumer. If we look at the customer base of Indosat today, I believe the number of people with smartphone access is probably below 60%. Going to the second question in terms of NPS is not enough. I mean, it's still a very important measure, but what we saw is that even among the promoters, some of them might actually consider to move. So what is good is actually to add follow-up question. Typically, you will have follow-up question only for the detractors. This is what I observe with a lot of operators that I've worked with. They have follow-up question for the detractors, but forget to ask follow-up question for the promoters. I believe you should do for all three different sectors: promoters, the passive, as well as the detractors. Ask them why they are loyal. Definitely this is something that we can work together with you, but it's good to understand why they are loyal and what are the pain points for even the promoters. And I think what the promoters appreciate the most is actually loyalty and reward.
The message that I got is how we can be low cost, high impact. So in digital transformation, we are still reshaping our roadmap, goals, roles. So on the last your presentation, Pak, I believe Ericsson has long history collaboration with Indosat. So from your view, Pak, what is considerations that we need to think about so we can succeed when implementing digital transformation and make digital business succeed?
So what it means that you need to change your IT way of the way those applications are integrated and make them on-net application rather than keep them OTT. And that is the only way you can start monetizing some of these threats which are becoming threats, and you will become enabler from that perspective. But if you want to go up into the service provider segment, you need to start thinking about which areas our government is investing in.
Based on this, actually now we can have a very good, clear visualization of how the network actually looks like if we want to fulfill certain throughput or app requirements. I mean, again, this could be web browsing, this could be or Facebook or whatever you can think of. This could be for videos. You know, let's say marketing guys in this room says, okay, I want to roll out a video package for my subscribers. How does my network look like now? Can I fulfill that kind of user experience? This could actually give you the answers.
One example, I'm not saying go to this company. I have put the company name on so you can look at the website, but I'm not promoting this company as such. I'm saying this is a solution that is applicable in Indonesia. You can probably find a local company to do something similar, or maybe you can design it yourself.
Go beyond that, you need to consider some of these things. So you have a network. On that network, you have voice services and data services and media services. That's what you have at the moment.
So that person was able to put the headset on and was as though they were in that cabin, but they were controlling that digger. So what we were able to show them was what was needed to be able to do that. So we also provided haptic feedback. So as the digger dug, there was feedback coming back to create the impression that it was actually picking something up. So that feedback was coming to make that experience as real for that operator as possible, haptic feedback. So considering that, we have to think about LTE today can do an awful lot, but there's some things that it can't necessarily do. Or that will be better when we open up. Things like latency. We're looking in 5G to reduce the latency by 5 times. So when I say latency, I mean the responsiveness of the network, the time it takes to get a signal out there and back again there. What we're targeting there is probably around about somewhere between 1 to 5 milliseconds end-to-end latency.
We will start actually for the data center transformation, and every strategy start from the current state analysis. What is your current environment? What is the as-is situation in terms of environment, in terms of asset? You should know everything about your environment to get the correct information, and then you can do the to-be infrastructure and the to-be architecture for the target infrastructure. What is the key success? Two fundamental success we have. The program design and planning and design is critical, and the program governance is really important.
Ini 10 years of battery life, gimana kita bisa melakukan itu? Yang pertama extended di RX gitu ya. Kalau handphone sekarang itu, kalau dia tuh tiap 1,2 second atau 1 second sekali itu dia akan bangun gitu ya. Meskipun diam, nggak ngapa-ngapain, nggak ada data. Saya selalu bangun, liatin ada message buat saya nggak, tidur lagi. Bangun tidur lagi. Di extended long RX itu nanti kita bisa ubah cycle-nya itu, sehingga dia bangunnya tuh tiap bisa berubah dari 1 second sampai 50 menit sekali, gitu, 52 menit sekali. Jadi yang sekarang itu biasanya bangun tiap 1 second lihat paging channel ada nggak buat saya. Ini sekarang bisa saya bangun kayak sleeping gitu, itu 52 menit lagi baru saya lihat lagi ada nggak buat saya. Gitu.